What up, y'all? It's your man, Uncle Kurt, Triad Hip Hop Podcast, and I'm bringing you another lyrical breakdown. Now, this one is going to be one of my favorite female MCs. You know, I don't even like to say the term female MC anymore because I realize, you know, an MC is an MC, you know what I mean? But this is an MC extraordinaire by the name of Sa Rock. She's highly underrated, but highly gifted and highly rated at the same time, you know what I mean? So this is a song she did called Revolution. It's a combination. It's almost like revolution and evolution put together. And every time I hear the song, you know what I mean, I just vibe out to it because lyrically, you know what I mean, she's out of this world, you know what I mean? She's one of those rappers, she can spit consciousness to you, but she can still chop your head off, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to talk too much. Let's get right into that song, Revolution, Sa Rock, and we'll be right back to break down those lyrics, all right?
Dropped from out the clouds, had to change form. Flooded the plains, had them praying for my brainstorms. I'm a master, peace from divine. A worker, I got a bit of mob trying to frame John. I'm heir to whenever a conflict, with a postcode drawn so the pros and the cons split. Professionals, been Robin Hoods with a conflict. Gave to the poor and the black the stigmata of convict. See the cross we bear's too familiar. Embedded in the home of the brave, the darkest of interiors. So street scholars and soldiers defect, cause they post-traumatic stress on their American experience. Go all in, I'm finna go all in. Murk every line came before this delivery, make orphans. See my heart bleed from the hardship of my origins. My great-grand sold for a band at something auctions. It's the razor edge of my cadence is shredded through these paper trails. Only alphabet boys I trust is inner wire nails. Only alchemy justify the nuggets I expel. In the city idols trying to be the next Ida Wells Rock.
I don't know what you might have heard, but we ain't going nowhere but up. Got a whole squad dressed in all black, got the streets on notice. What up? They want us in the same place, ain't nobody ever gonna really change nothing but us. Hello, this is revolution, get on up.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You heard what I heard, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So I'm going to go ahead and read the lyrics so I can give you my opinion on how they break down. You know what I mean? She said, dropped from out the clouds, had to change form, flooded the plains, had them praying for my brainstorms. Or right off the rip, you know what I mean? She killing it, you know what I mean? She letting you know she's a God MC, you know, that had to step out of the heavens, you know what I mean? She said, I dropped out of the clouds, had to change form, you know what I mean? I had to come to you in a form that you can understand, a human form, you know what I mean? And then she said, I flooded the plains, had them praying for my brainstorms. That shit is dope right there, you know what I mean? She killing you with the lyrics, but she killing you with the consciousness too, you know what I mean? So she said, I'm a master, peace from divine. Every work of art got a bit of mob trying to frame John. You know what I mean? So I like how she said, I'm a master. And then she said, peace from divine. Because it's like she combining that master, but masterpiece. You know what I mean? Like I'm a work of art. You know what I mean? So she said, I'm a master, peace from divine. And then, you know what I mean? Then you say peace from divine, like, you know, peace as in, you know, holding up the sign for peace from the divine goddess, you know what I mean, that she is. So, and then she said, every work of art got a bit of mob trying to frame John. You know what I mean? Trying to frame John, you know what I mean? Trying to frame it. You know what I mean? Every work of art got people trying to frame it. You know what I mean? She used the slang John, you know what I mean? That's like how we say the joint, you know what I mean? But that's how they say it in some parts of like Philadelphia and whatnot, the John, you know what I mean? So, she said, I'm heir to an era of conflict where the postcodes drawn so the pros and the cons split. You know what I mean? I like that. She said, I'm heir to an era of conflict, meaning, you know, I'm inheriting this era of conflict. You know what I mean? I'm heir to that throne. I'm heir to that, you know what I mean? She said, where the postcodes drawn so the pros and the cons split. You know what I mean? So I love how she do that. The pros and the cons are split. I love that, man. So then she said, professionals with Robin Hoods with a palm flick gave to the poor and the black the stigmata of convict. You know what I mean? So that right there, to me, she's like, she's saying that, you know what I mean? Sometimes you have to be like that Robin Hood, you know what I mean? And the old saying, take from the rich and give to the poor, you know what I mean? So that's why what she's talking about. With a palm flick, gave to the poor and the black the stigmata of convict, you know what I mean? Meaning, you want to call people convict when the intention is not what you think, you know what I mean? It's not to be some sort of, hood or thief or whatever. It's just to help somebody else sometimes, you know what I mean? So she said, see, the cross we bear is too familiar, embedded in the home of the brave, the darkest of interiors. You know what I mean? And that's, that's deep right there. You know what I mean? The cross we bear is too familiar, meaning we all keep inheriting the same cross to bear throughout the generations. You know what I mean? That we have to go through the same conflict. And that's why she said, embedded in the home of the brave, the darkest of interiors. So street scholars and soldiers defect because they post-traumatic stress in their American experience. Man, that's deep right there. She said, so street scholars and soldiers defect because they post-traumatic stress in their American experience. Go off then. She said, I'm finna go all in. Murk every line came before this delivery make orphans. See my heart bleed from the hardship of my origins. My great grand sold for a band at Southern auctions. You know what I mean? That's pretty self-explanatory right there. You know what I mean? My great grands sold for a band at Southern auctions. You know what I mean? They were selling people. You know what I mean? And not just people of color, black people, specifically the African American people or the African people, our ancestors who were drug over here and then treated like, products and goods and services and shit, and just traded and sold back and forth, and handled like we was easily replaceable. So she said, it's a razor's edge in my cadence that shredded through these paper trails. Only alphabet boys I trust is NOI and L's. Only alchemy justify the nuggets I expel. Inner city idol, trying to be the next Ida Wells. Rock. You know what I mean? I love that last part. She said, only alchemy justify the nuggets I expel. You know what I mean? If you know the study of alchemy, you know what I mean? It talks a lot about, changing something from one form into the form of another, specifically into gold. And so that's why she talks about only alchemy justifies the nuggets I expel. And then she said, inner city idol, trying to be the next Ida Wells. You know what I mean? If you don't know who Ida Wells is, go look her up. You know what I mean? Ida B. Wells. You know what I mean? Go look her up. But shout out to Side Rock, man. I love the song. The lyrics is dope. Everything she does is dope. So, this is just one that was on my mind, and I really wanted to do a breakdown on it. So I wanted to give her some props and some shouts because she deserves it. You know what I mean? More people need to be talking about her music. So shout out to Side Rock. And this is your man Kurt from the Triad Hip Hop Podcast. We'll do this again next weekend. Me or Howie, one of us will be breaking some lyrics down, and we'll come back at you again, all right? Peace.